Well, good evening, everybody. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell here, looking down live in Arnold right now, where it's literally, at this moment, pouring. We have a tremendous amount of rain around the St. Louis area, at least for parts of the area right now. But here's the good news. The last of the warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, has been let go. And really, we haven't had a lot of severe weather reports this evening. Most of this around St. Louis has been very beneficial rain that we have dealt with during the last couple of hours or so. It has the Cardinals in a delay here at Busch Stadium this evening. That's some decent rain that's out there from Augusta out towards Washington, Missouri. About 30, 40 mile per hour winds, maybe with that storm that's out there in the Warrenton area right now. And that does stretch up just to the west of Troy. This area from Hawk Point over towards Truxton, this was the area we were tending to watch earlier for the gusty winds and potentially some damaging winds. It looks like this storm has really weakened quite a bit. And as we look at the velocity mode on here, we had some brighter colors earlier, and they have subsequently tended to fade away. So again, 30 to maybe 40 mile per hour winds there around Warrenton. You might have some 30 mile per hour winds around Truxton and then heading into far western portions of Lincoln County. But as we go a little farther to the north, this western portion of Pike County and then going back to the west into Rawls and Audrain and Monroe counties, this is an area that saw some really intense thunderstorms earlier and dropped a couple of 3 inches of rain. And so that's causing a lot of runoff right now. And so there is the potential for some flash flooding in that area. Now, you're also still looking at some heavy rain out along 70 as you go from Wright City westward out towards Kingdom City. And there's still a severe thunderstorm warning that does include the Fulton area of Missouri. That's outside of our viewing area. But there's still some 50 to 60 mile per hour winds that are gusting with that cell. Now, as we get in a little bit closer to the metro area, kind of put things into motion, cloud to ground lightning, pretty extensive here across Jefferson County. Also in the area here out to the west of Washington, between Washington, New Haven, Berger in that area, down towards Union. And there are some pretty good downpours in here. So some spots may get a half an inch to an inch of rain over the course of an hour, hour and a half. We need that rainfall. There is no doubt about that. So we'll take that, and if we can do it without strong winds and hail, even more of a bonus. This down to the south of St. Louis, that's also producing some heavier rain across a good chunk of Jefferson County. And here, as you go down 67, between Festus and Valley Mines, there might even be a little bit of small hail mixed in that as well. This area, again, looking down in Arnold, you see that heavier rain as it continues down 55 here, going from Arnold south down towards Imperial, Maine. We still have a few of these stronger thunderstorms that are more isolated here down over the eastern Ozarks. That outflow boundary was making its way to the south. It's pretty much been, absorbed by these clusters of showers and thunderstorms as they're moving on to the east. And so we're thinking, basically what you see is what you're going to get for the next hour or so. Some heavy rain here over by Carlisle, moving towards Carlisle Lake, Greenville, Illinois, near Salem, Illinois. That's all pushing to the east. So we think we're going to deal with this for the next hour or two, at least. But there should be a diminishing trend here as the atmosphere has been worked over a bit, and because of that, you lose some of the punch that these storms might have. And you notice they're not moving all that fast. That's one of the big things that we've really been watching is the slow movement on these storms. There's not a lot of strong upper level winds to take these storms and keep them moving, but that's also good because it limits how strong the storms can get and limits our potential of severe weather. So from that standpoint, we think heavy rain may end up being more beneficial and the biggest thing that we deal with here. Certainly we broke the heat with these showers and thunderstorms around St. Louis. That outflow boundary started well to our north and just kind of slid back into the metro area, and temperatures dropped 10 to 15 degrees with that, and it was right behind that outflow where you started to see these showers and thunderstorms develop, and now kind of a complex of storms here dropping in from the north. So let's look at the future cast. And granted, none of the computer models really, not one of them has a good handle on what's going on at the moment, but they do have some ideas, and this is kind of the general flavor of it with what we have out there kind of fading here as we head through the overnight hours. And then we'll watch what comes at us from the north. So as we go into the overnight hours and early tomorrow morning, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch. It's in effect now up far northeastern portions of Missouri, up into southern portions of Iowa, across northern Illinois. It doesn't include any of our counties. And it's going to take a while for that front to sag in here. So this will probably be towards daybreak when we see that cluster of showers and thunderstorms sliding in from the north and west. Will it have some strong winds? You know, there is a chance. But we're not going to be close to 100, and we're not going to have nearly the juice. And this still doesn't have a huge amount of upper level winds to deal with. So odds are we get more rainfall than anything else out of it, with maybe a few instances of some gusty breezes. And that's probably going to last until around lunchtime. And then the chances of those showers and thunderstorms will tend to shift southeast of St. Louis. If there is any severe weather tomorrow, odds favor it being farther south and east of St. Louis. We do think by 5, 6 o'clock tomorrow evening we're back into the middle 80s, but drier air will be pushing into the area, and so that should limit, the heat. I think we're done with the excessive heat for a few days. Your mosquitoes, they're not done anytime soon. We're going to keep that on the high side. Okay, so we hit 103 degrees today in St. Louis. Through 4 o'clock, the low was 83. Now we've dropped to 80. So that's our new low temperature for the day. 83 would have been a record high-low temperature, but that's out of the mix now. 103 is, in fact, the record high for today. It's a new one. It breaks the old record of 102 that was set back in 1954. 88 is your average high for this time of year. Still feels like 84. The dew point's still 71 around the St. Louis area. So still muggy again tonight. Upper 60s, lower 70s for most of us. The storms, you'll have a round moving out this evening, and then another round that moves in as we head towards daybreak. So we think those towards daybreak would be less likely to produce any severe weather. And when we look at your next 10 days, really the focus is less on heat for the next 7 days and more on our rain chances. We don't get another, well, actually it's Tuesday night. So tonight at midnight, they will cut off, I think it's tonight at midnight. They do the drought monitor. It comes out on Thursday morning. So they either cut it off this morning or it's tonight at midnight. I'm not honestly sure which one it is. But they cut it off on Tuesday. It comes out on Thursday. You know how dry it's been up to this point. And the last week with all the heat, we've really been parched. So, you know, a lot of us, even though we're not officially in a drought, we've had that essential flash drought. So this rain that we get overnight into early tomorrow morning, badly, badly needed. And we'll certainly take what we can get. The problem is some of it may not go that fast, and it may come a little too fast and furious. And that can create some flash flooding issues. So again, that's something to be concerned with overnight, early tomorrow morning. But going into tomorrow afternoon into Thursday, the humidity will lower. Our temperatures are not bad the next couple of days, right about the normal for this time of year. We're in the lower 90s on Friday, Saturday, mid-90s. Another front comes in sometime on Saturday into Saturday evening. That should drop our temperatures back into the 80s again for highs on Sunday and Monday. But then the heat builds again, and it looks like we jump right back underneath this ridge as we head towards the 4th of July. That's going to push those temperatures much like what we saw on Tuesday, close to 100 degrees for the high, and also with some humidity around, low chance of some thunderstorms, and yeah, the really intense heat building across the area. So that's kind of where we are with the next 10 days. Really, the worst of the heat was today until the end of next week. And then, you know, we're kind of building back from there and just dealing with the rain chances that we have across the region and navigating that. So just want to give you a quick view here, and give me just a split second and I'll call it back up. Kind of what's been going on across the region this afternoon, because it really has been pretty amazing to watch this. We hit 103 for the high temperature today. That was right around 3 o'clock. And then by 5:15, we're down around 80 degrees. So you see how fast it drops off there. And those numbers really do drop quickly. Now, that wasn't all due to rain, because Lambert did not get a lot of rain initially. That was the outflow boundary sliding in. So you can see it there. from the thunderstorms to our north, it just kind of backed in, and behind that outflow boundary is where we started to see the showers and thunderstorms bubble up. Springfield, Illinois, it's been in the 70s there much of the day. You know, we were at 103 at one point. You see how warm it got up around Des Moines. Now they've cooled off, as there are the showers and thunderstorms we'll be watching for the overnight hours and into early tomorrow. Building here across northwestern portions of Illinois, back across the southern half of Iowa, and then back up here into Nebraska. That whole area, that's the front. That's going to slowly sag towards us through the overnight hours. That is what we will deal with, I think, when we wake up here early on your Wednesday morning. Don't necessarily think it's going to be all that much in the way of severe. So that is some good news for you. So that's kind of where we stand at this point. Looking down Market Street, we're getting a little bit of a break in St. Louis. Not sure how much more of that rain is going to slide our way from the southwest either, but you know, we're going to watch as the overall trend is for it to diminish. But the Cardinals in a rain delay, or actually they haven't started the game yet. They're just kind of delaying the start of the game until they get a better handle on the rain, and didn't want to, you know, get started and then have to stop again because of lightning, which we've had a fair amount of that. Although the overall flavor and the overall trend is for things to weaken a bit. We'll keep you updated at 5 on your side right through the rest of the evening hours. And, you know, you can always, we're going to leave the radar. It's streaming on a separate feed right now, but we're going to leave the radar and the cameras rolling throughout the remainder of the evening. Good news is the heat advisory has been canceled for the St. Louis area, able to cancel that early with the outflow boundary sliding in and across the region. Have a great night, everybody.